and welcome back. Now today we've got a rather strange video because I've got an IR receiver here and an IR transmitter there, that's infrared, and I can't get them to work for my workshop wall fan. Yes, I'm absolutely stumped. What on earth is going on? If making a PCB is a bit of a puzzle to you, let JLC PCB help you put all the pieces in the right place. Easy EDA is an intuitive electronic design tool, just as I'm showing you here. And when you've done that, you can convert it into a PCB like this one here. And you can view it in 3D and see exactly how it's going to look before you order it. It's easy to order from JLC PCB directly from within Easy EDA, with fast, reliable deliveries and now $2 for 5 pieces, including aluminium boards. They can even assemble them for you at no extra charge. Why don't you see what JLC PCB can offer you today? Indeed. Now, if I tell you that I've spent 2 full days trying to get the transmitter bit working for my wall fan up there, yeah, that one, and I've failed. And believe me, I've tried every single combination known to man and then some he hasn't even thought of. And all I've got is this little remote control here. You see this? It's a ProElec wall fan. Now, it's sold in the UK by CPC, and ProElec seems to be like their own brand, really. But I can't believe for an instant that CPC, even though it's part of like the Farnell group, actually build that fan. You've got to be kidding me. That's built by somebody out in the Far East, isn't it? Yeah, probably China. But even though the receiver, this bit here, says, oh yes, finally, after a whole day, I might add, I managed to get some code working. It goes, yes, I know exactly what that protocol is and what it is you're sending. And I think, thank the Lord above, I've got it. Programmed it into this board, and the wall fan says, can't hear anything. Nope, not doing it. And that's where I've been now for another day. So that's 2 lots of 24 hours. Well, at least a 10-hour day, believe me. And I cannot get it to work. So, you know what they say? If at first you don't succeed, try and try again. Yeah, well, I've tried and tried again, and I can't get it to work. I think it was W.C. Field says, if at first you don't succeed, try and try again and then give up. There's no point being a damn fool about it. Indeed. So I am giving up. Unless you guys out there say, hey Ralph, I had a wall fan that wouldn't work either. And this is what I did. Somehow, I doubt it. Because as I say, I've tried every conceivable code and... Whoa! That's my chair giving way. I tell you, it's one of them days, isn't it? It's one of them days. I've tried every single code known to man, and that wall fan stubbornly refuses to accept anything. And yes, I have put the transmitter right up next to it. And even when I do that, so the transmitter is right up there on the wall next to my fan, this receiver, which is down here on my workbench, still receives the code that I'm trying to send out, but the wall fan will not respond. Now, so at this point then I'm taking a step back, and I was going to just take all these things apart and go and sulk for a bit in a corner. But I thought, well, okay, what are my options now? Really? I mean, to have, well, I can only describe it as failure. Failure is not known to me, really. With hard work and perseverance, I eventually get to the solution, but this is failure. So I must step back and go, okay, you've tried. You've failed for whatever reason. What are the options? Okay, I think these are what my options are, and I'm hoping you'll say, yeah, you can do this or try that, whatever. Yeah, I'm hoping for lots of feedback on this one. So I can take the fan apart, right? The electronics out the back and all that. I did take it apart once. I think it's when we were doing the Variac video. Oh, that one there, about controlling it with the Variac, which it still is, by the way, and it's great. I mean, I've got it on the 2nd speed setting. I can't hear anything, but it's pushing the warm air around this workshop beautifully. Great. Anyway, so I've taken it apart, so I know I can take it apart and get the electronics out. Maybe there's something inside the fan that will identify what the actual electronics are, and maybe that will give me a clue as to what code maybe on here I have to plug in rather than the one that's being suggested by the software. Maybe. But the other thing that wall fan has, of course, is not just a remote control to control it, there are some buttons on the actual fan itself. So I'm thinking, okay, I can develop a hardware solution for that just, clicks the buttons. So I have my own infrared transmitter and receiver using whatever protocol I decide upon. And so the receiver will say, oh yes, I have received that. I'll now click that button via a reed switch, a relay, whatever. Yeah. Now, when we're talking about relays, I don't really like relays because they click. And when you're in a very quiet workshop like this, I mean, listen to the noise in this workshop. Yeah, silence, right? Okay, I do have my radio on, but even so, the click, click, click of a relay can be quite annoying. But the only time that fan is going to be controlled by my infrared workshop management is when I'm not here. So how's that work? Well, as you know, my smart workshop heater controller, which is down there on the wall, and I haven't actually done a video on that yet, controls the heater over there beautifully, right? And I can also control it from my phone now and have an override. So when I'm indoors and go, good Lord, the temperature's down to 0, I'll turn it on for 20 minutes. And that works fine. What I also want, though, is when the heater is turned on, I want the fan to be turned on as well to move the hot air around to make it much more efficient. Otherwise you come in and all the hot air's up there somewhere and it's still cold down here. So clickety clickety click of relays doesn't worry me because I won't be here. And when I am here, the smart heater controller will not control that fan. I'll be in charge of it. Yeah, so that's fine. So noise in that sense doesn't matter. The other thing I could do, of course, is to put a relay that controls the motor directly. After all, it's a mains motor. So I could just connect the motor directly to a relay via an Arduino or an ESP32, probably better, Wi-Fi, and say, switch on. So blast away and then off. So it's fairly crude, but it would work. Yes. I don't know. Or, oh yes, there is, of course, the final solution. Dun, dun, dun. I could buy another fan. Now, that fan cost me, in British money, at the time, I think it was about £16, right? Which was slightly above the average for a wall fan, but of course this one had remote control and swing and all sorts. So I thought, yeah, it's worth the extra money for a workshop. Now, I can't get them from CPC anymore. The back order until, I think it was May 2022. So it's like, 7 months away. It's ridiculous, but I can still find them on the internet for about £20. So I thought, okay, one solution then is, I know it sounds crazy, but I could just go out and buy a brand new fan with a remote control, put the new fan, up in the attic as a standby spare, but I've now bought, if you like, a spare remote control for 20 quid, right? And £20 for a remote control is not as expensive as you might think. I've spent that on a spare remote control for my TV, where, all the numbers rub off and it doesn't work properly anymore. You can buy a brand new OEM remote control and it costs about 20 quid. So I'm thinking, all right, I could buy a brand new fan for 20 quid, have a spare fan then up in the attic, should I ever need it, and get a new remote control, take it apart, which I'm most certainly not going to do with this one, and find out what all these buttons are connected to, and use those as part of my smart heater controller to control effectively the buttons in here. Now, I don't know if these are buttons, they feel squidgy. So it might be one of those like calculator matrix buttons, but at the end of the day, it's still an on-off mechanism, isn't it? And I could do it that way. It just feels a bit odd, though, to buy a brand new fan just to get the remote control. And no, you cannot get these remote controls for love nor money anywhere else. They are specific, I think, to the ProElec brand and that fan in particular. So, by the time you watch this video, I will have taken that fan off the wall, possibly, at least taken the electronics out to have a look what's inside, and then decided, okay, I can do something with those buttons on that thing, and I'm hoping that they are standard push buttons, because then I could emulate that very well in a separate unit. If you can imagine one of these ESP units wired up with a little relay or something on it, that would work fine. It just seems a little bit of overkill given that there's already an infrared receiver in that phone, but needs must. And I'll have looked at what the buttons are, the electronics inside, and decided, you know what, is it simpler just to buy a brand new fan, get a new remote control, and take out the gubbins inside here. Yeah, that's the technical word. The electronics inside here, and just wire this up to my smart workshop heater control. And jobs are good, because I mean, you know, it's got everything in here, isn't it? The infrared, look, everything. Just have that on the wall, because one thing I have noticed that you can point this basically anywhere in this room, and that responds. It's very good. So, what do? Let me show you a couple of the things that I've tried, because when this all didn't work, it occurred to me after 2 days of trying all this, I thought, hang on, how do I actually know this transmitter is really transmitting what I think? Yes, I've tried it so that this receiver receives the code first of all from here, and it goes, it's blah blah protocol, and this is what you're transmitting. I program this to do the same, and this says, oh yes, I've received it from here, and it's identical what you've just given me via that remote control. But I think, how do I know it's actually working though? If there was some fundamental problem in the software, they could both be lying, couldn't they? But a compensating error, as it were. So what I did this morning is I got the remote control from my bathroom, because I have a wall-mounted heater fan, and I put that on here, and it goes, oh yeah, that's an NEC protocol, and it's this address and this command you're sending. So I quickly programmed this to do just that, and these are the results that I got back. So the IDE window, the debug window, you can see on the right here, that's this one here, that's what I'm outputting, right? And it says protocol NEC address FF, and the command is hex 9, same as decimal 9, I know. So I program that into the transmitter, which is this one over here, and here it goes, look, sending it all out. Took that indoors to my bathroom, plugged in that receiver using a portable battery supply, and the bathroom heater immediately switched on, and then off again, and then on again, and then off again, because obviously it's sending this out every second or something, which proved to me that the software is fine, and indeed the hardware that I have here on my workbench is fine. There's absolutely nothing fundamentally wrong, I don't think, with what I've got set up here. Well, specifically the transmitter, right? So I know there's nothing wrong with that, but why that fan resolutely just ignores what I'm sending out, I don't know. Please, somebody tell me what I'm doing wrong, or whether it just can't be done. I mean, it must be done. It must be done. I cannot believe, for an instance, that this device can send out something so obscure that it's somehow encrypted. Not a chance. This is sending out the Norbert protocol, hex command 2C1 to turn that on, address 0, and that's what the receiver's telling me, and I've programmed this to do it, but that just does not work. So there we are then. We have three options. Take the fan apart, have a look inside to see if there's something that might help me identify what's going on, and perhaps find something on the internet that will make it work. Number 2 is find out what the buttons are like. Are they real push buttons, so I can emulate those, a little gizmo on the side, which doesn't sit well with me because it means I've just bypassed all the electronics inside it. But and 3, buy another fan for 20 quid, which sounds like an easy option, doesn't it, really? Get a new remote, put the fan up in the attic as a spare, and who knows, I might use it somewhere else. I could have 2 in it. No, I couldn't. There's not enough room. Use it as a spare, but I've bought a remote control then for 20 quid, haven't I? Take this apart and use this pretty much as is, I suppose, as long as I can get these buttons on and off via my ESP32 smart heater controller. Job done. Well, be interesting to find out what you guys think, which way I should go, given that I've spent 2 complete days now trying to get that to work. And when I discovered the protocol that was using, I thought that was the job done. But no, it isn't. So I don't really know what's going on. It's like the laws of physics have changed overnight. Okay, I'm going to stop there because I'm now going to dismantle all this because I'm so frustrated with it all. And I'm going to start dismantling that fan, I think, pretty soon and have a look inside that. But by the time you're watching this now, I will have updated the comments down below with the details I find of that fan to see if there's anything on it. But I won't actually build anything just yet because, well, I'll wait to see what you say. Cool, that's all we got time for today because I'm fed up and disappointed that I couldn't get this to work. Try and try again indeed. Okay guys, comments down below. See where we go from here and see you in the next video. I hope you're finding these videos useful and interesting. There are plenty more videos to choose and a couple are shown below. And if you'd like to subscribe to this channel, just click on my picture below and enjoy the rest of the videos. Thanks for watching.